Let me tell you something right now. You can't keep blaming the world, your parents, your past, your job, your school, your neighborhood. At some point, you gotta take full responsibility. Nobody's coming to save you. You want change? It starts with you. Taking control of your life isn't about wishing. It's about making decisions. It's about taking back your power. You are not a victim. You are a victor. And if you want to take control of your life, you need to wake up every day and make moves like your future depends on it. Because IT does. You want to take control of your life? Then the very first thing you have to do, and I mean before anything else, is stop blaming everybody else for what's not right in your world. You've been pointing fingers too long. You're looking at your parents, your teachers, your boss, your friends, your past, and all the while you're giving away your power. As long as you're blaming, you're stuck. And as you're blaming, you can't grow. You can't fix what you won't own. You can't climb out of the pit if you keep saying someone else dug it for you. I'm telling you, if you want real change, you gotta look in the mirror and say, this is on me. And that's a good thing. Listen to me. It's not about fault. It's about responsibility. It might not be your fault you were raised in chaos, but it is your responsibility to break that cycle. It might not be your fault that people hurt you, lied to you, abandoned you, but it's your responsibility to rise above it and not carry that bitterness forward. You don't get to wait for justice before you get up. You don't get to sit around until people say sorry. You don't need closure. You need movement. You need action. You need to say, I own this life. My reaction, my attitude, my decision. That's where your power is. You've been told your whole life that the world owes you something. Let me be real with you. It doesn't. Life doesn't hand out success just because you survive hard times. Life doesn't give out trophies for potential. The world rewards execution. The world respects results. And results come from ownership. You gotta be the one that gets up every day and says, nobody's going to do this for me. Nobody's going to build your business. Nobody's going to get you in shape. Nobody's going to change your mindset. That's your job. You see, the moment you take responsibility is the moment you take control. The second you stop waiting for somebody to save you. The second you stop waiting for the situation to change. Just the moment you get your life back. Because now you're the driver. You're no longer a passenger in your own story. You're the author now. You're writing the pages. You decide where the story goes from here. It's not going to be easy. I'm not telling you this is some overnight process. I'm not telling you that you won't feel broken some days. I'm not saying you won't cry. I'm not saying you won't fall. But when you fall, you get back up because you're the one responsible now. And when you own your life, you stop looking for shortcuts. You stop begging for help. You stop begging for help. You stop needing validation. You stop hiding behind excuses. You stand up and you say, let's go. I may not know how to get there, but I know I'm the one that's gonna find the way. The moment you blame, you lose. You lose time. You lose focus. You lose belief. You lose your energy. When you're in the blame game, you're giving somebody else the pen, your life story. You're saying, here, you write this chapter. You decide how I feel. You decide what I do next. No, that is today. You're not letting anyone else dictate your destiny. You're taking the pen back. You're writing your story now. And it starts with those words. I am responsible. People are going to look at you funny when you start talking like this. They're going to say, oh, why are you so hard on yourself? But it's not about being hard on yourself. It's about being real. It's about saying, I want to win. And I know I can't win if I keep making excuses. Winners take responsibility. Losers pass the blame. You think Michael Jordan became who he was by saying, a coach didn't play me enough. You think Oprah built her empire by saying, I was born into poverty, so I guess I'll just settle? No, they looked at their circumstances and said, I'm going to use this. I'm going to rise above it. I'm going to take control of my life. And you can do the same thing. You can wake up tomorrow and say, oh, this is my life. I get to choose how I show up. I get to choose what I work on. I get to choose what I tolerate. I get to choose what I build. And when you own that power, everything starts to shift. The world doesn't look the same when you stop playing the victim. See, you stop seeing obstacles and you start seeing options. You stop seeing problems and you start seeing possibilities. It all begins with one decision. I take full responsibility. Not some of it, not just the easy parts, all of it. Because this is my life and I'm not giving that power away anymore. You can't take control of your life if you don't know where you're going. You wake up every morning just surviving, drifting, reacting, and you wonder why nothing changes. You wonder why every day feels the same. It's because you have no vision. And I'm not talking about goals. I'm not talking about little wishes or New Year's resolutions. I'm talking about a vision. A big, bold, terrifying picture of what your life could be if you stop playing small and start living on purpose. You've got to create a vision that scares you a little, but excites you a lot. One that wakes you up early, keeps you grinding long after everyone else gave up. You see, a man or woman without vision is like a ship without a compass. You're moving, yeah, but where are you going? What are you building? What's driving you? People think hard work is the answer. But hard work without direction is just wasted motion. You can hustle in circles. You can grind yourself into the ground and still be stuck in the same place next year if you don't know where you're headed. Vision is the fuel that turns movement into progress. It's the difference between working a job and building a legacy. It's the difference between existing and living. You've been taught to play it safe, to aim small, to be unrealistic. But realistic never changed the world. Realistic never started a business from nothing. Realistic never got anybody out of poverty, never broke generational curses, never shattered limits. You want to take control of your life, then you've got to stop thinking small. You've got to stop shrinking your dreams to fit your current reality. You got to start stretching your mindset to match your future potential. And that starts with a vision. You've got to visualize the championship before you step on the court. That business you want to start, picture it. Walk through the office in your mind. Hear the phone ring. Smell the fresh paint on the walls. That body you want to build, see it, feel it. Picture yourself walking into the room with confidence. You got to experience the vision in your mind before it ever becomes real in your life. And don't you dare apologize for thinking big. Don't you dare feel guilty for wanting more. You were born to be great, not average. And when you create a vision that aligns with your purpose, with your calling, now you got fire. Now you got something pulling you forward, even when the road gets hard. You won't always feel motivated, but your vision will remind you why you started. You'll want to quit, but then you'll remember the life you're building and you'll keep going. Let me tell you something real. Your vision should scare you. If your dreams don't make you nervous, they're not big enough. If your goals don't feel uncomfortable, you're not growing. Growth is on the other side of fear. You think every successful person was confident from day one? No, they were terrified, but they moved anyway. They walked through that fear because the vision mattered more than the fear. You gotta be so committed to your vision that you're willing to lose friends over it, that you're willing to be misunderstood, that you're willing to be uncomfortable. Because the truth is, not everybody is going to see what you see. Not everybody is going to understand your grind. That's okay. Your vision wasn't given to them. It was given to you. Stop waiting for approval. Stop looking for validation. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You need to believe in yourself. You need to trust the fire inside of you more than the opinions outside of you. Write the vision down. Make it plain. Post it on your wall. Speak it every day. Read it when you feel lost. Look at it when life knocks you down. Let it be the light that keeps you moving through dark seasons. Let it be the reason you say enough to distractions and yes, the discipline. Your vision is not just a dream, it's a weapon. And when you hold it right, it cuts through excuses, laziness, fear, and doubt. Too many people are living without vision and wondering why they feel empty. Too many are chasing money with no mission, climbing ladders that are leaning against the wrong wall. That's not going to be you. You're going to take control. You're going to sit down and design your life before the world decides it for you. You're going to step out of survival mode and into purpose mode. Because once you create a vision and commit to it, you stop reacting and start building. You stop floating and start flying. You were not created to be average. Yeah? You were not created to blend in. You were created to stand out, to make impact, to live a life that echoes beyond your time on this earth. But that starts with vision. That starts with the courage to dream. That starts with the audacity to say, I want more and I'm gonna get it. Ooh, vision is how you take the first step toward the life you were meant to live. Every single day, you're giving energy, time, focus, mental bandwidth. But here's the hard truth. Most people spend all of it worrying about things they can't control. They give their power away to problems they can't fit. They waste hours replaying what someone said, stressing over the past, fearing what might happen tomorrow. And while they're busy pouring their energy into things outside of their reach, their goals sit untouched. Their dreams go dusty. Their potential goes silent. If you want to take control of your life, you got to stop wasting energy on things that don't belong to you. You got to stop draining your power on things that won't move you forward. You can't control how people treat you, but you can control how you respond. You can't change what's already happened, but you can choose how to carry it. Can't stop life from throwing storms at you, but you can decide if you'll stand or fold. The problem is, you've been taught to worry about everything. You think if you just obsess long enough, maybe you'll feel safe. Maybe you'll feel in control. But worrying doesn't fix anything. It just burns your fire out before you can use it. It distracts you from the real work. It pulls you into drama that has nothing to do with your destiny. Look at your life. Look at your thoughts. How much of your energy goes to things you have no influence over? How much time do you spend trying to change someone else's opinion of you? How much mental space do you give to problems that aren't even yours? That's why you're tired. That's why you feel stuck, because your focus is divided. Your attention is leaking. You're trying to carry weights you were never meant to lift. You've got to get disciplined about where your mind goes. Just like you budget money, you need to budget your energy. You only get so much a day. Why would you spend it on arguments that don't lead to peace? Stop. Why would you waste it replaying mistakes you can't undo? Why would you give your energy to someone who already showed you they don't value it? That's not strength. That's self-sabotage. Strength is learning when to let go. Power is choosing where to focus. Success comes from giving your best energy to the things that actually matter. And that means letting go of control. Yeah, I said it. You've got to stop trying to control everything. That's not your job. Your job is not to make the world fair. Your job is not to make everyone like you. Your job is not to make everyone like you. Your job is not to make the outcomes perfect. Your job is to show up every day with discipline, with focus, and with heart. Your job is to control what you can. Your mindset, your habits, your attitude, your hustle, and release what you can. You've got to learn the power of boundaries. Mental boundaries, emotional boundaries. Not everything deserves your attention. Not everyone gets access to your mind. Some people just want to drain you. Some situations are distractions dressed as obligation. You've got to be ruthless with your focus. Not mean, not cold, just committed. Committed to your vision. Committed to your peace. Committed to your growth. Because every moment you spend on what you can't control is a moment stolen from what you can. It's going to take strength to shift your focus. You've been living in reaction mode for a long time. You've been trying to manage chaos instead of creating clarity. You've been so busy responding to everything around you that you haven't had the time to build what's inside you. That stops now. You're not a firefighter. You're not here to constantly put out other people's fires. You're here to build. You're here to create. You're here to rise. Every time your mind drifts to something outside of your power, bring it back. Bring it back to the grind. Bring it back to the plan. Bring it back to your next step. The more you train your focus, the more powerful you become. This is mental fitness. This is emotional intelligence. This is what separates average from great. Average people give energy to everything. Great people give energy to what matters. And what matters is you, your growth, your health, your discipline, your purpose. You want peace. Stop fighting battles that were never yours. You want progress. Stop wasting time complaining about things that won't change. You want freedom? Take your energy back. Take your attention back. Take your power back. You only get so much fire in a day. Don't burn it on what you can't control. Use it to build. Use it to grow. Use it to rise. That's how you take control of your life. Not by fixing everything around you, but by mastering everything within you. The way you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. You want to take control of your life. Then you've got to start by taking control of your mornings, because those first few hours, when the world is quiet, when distractions are low, That's when champions are made. That's when the winners separate themselves from the rest. You think success just happens at random? No. Success is built on consistency, on habits, on rituals. And it starts with how you wake up and what you do at that time. Most people roll out of bed already behind. They wake up late, hit snooze 3 times, check their phone, scroll through social media, and by the time they actually move, they've already given away their focus. They start their day reacting instead of creating. And then they wonder why their life feels chaotic. They wonder why they're stressed, unproductive, and stuck. It's because they haven't claimed the morning. They haven't taken ownership of the start of their day. You gotta understand something. Your morning is your foundation. If your foundation is weak, everything you build on top of it will be shaky. You can't expect a strong, focused, disciplined day when your first hour is filled with noise, laziness, and distraction. You wanna shift your life. You wanna step into a higher level. Then you need a morning routine that builds strength. One that builds clarity, one that gets your mind and body in alignment before the world throws punches. Get up before the excuses do. Get up before the fear sets in. Get up before the distractions knock on your door. I'm not saying you have to wake up at 4 a.m., but I am saying you need to wake up with purpose. You need to wake up with a plan. You need to wake up knowing that your future is on the line, and you're not going to waste a second of it. When you wake up early and start your day on your terms, you send a message to your mind. I'm in control. That discipline bleeds into everything else. You're not just hitting the gym. You're training your mindset. You're not just meditating. You're sharpening your awareness. You're not just reading or journaling. You're building your inner world so strong that nothing on the outside can shake it. You think successful people wait until they feel motivated. No, they get up even when it's hard, especially when it's hard, because that's where the growth happens. No, that's where the growth happens. That's where character is built. You don't rise by doing what's easy. You rise by doing what's necessary. In the mornings where you set that standard, every single day. It's about showing up for yourself before anyone else demands your time. It's about moving your body so you remember that you're alive, that you have power, that you can shift your state. It's about feeding your mind so you can feed others. It's about grounding yourself in your mission before the world pulls you in 100 directions. Don't just wake up. Rise up. Rise with discipline. Rise with intention. Rise with that fire that says, I'm building something. Because the moment you let your morning slip away is the moment you let life start happening to you instead of through you. And that's how people get stuck. Not because they're not talented, not because they don't want more, or because they don't own their time. They don't own their time, they own their day. And it starts the second they open their eyes. You don't have to do what everyone else does. You don't have to copy someone else's exact routine. But you do have to build something that fuels you, something that pushes you, something that holds you accountable, because if you're not running your mornings are running you. You've got to make that choice every day. Do I start strong or start sloppy? Do I build or do I drift? Do I take control or do I give it away? That choice seems small in the moment, but it creates a pattern. And that pattern becomes your life. You got dreams, right? You got dreams, right? You got goals, right? You've got a purpose burning in your chest, right? Then start acting like it. Start preparing like it. Start showing up like your future depends on it. No more waking up late and wasting time. No more rolling into the day with no direction. Get up. Win the morning, and the day will follow. That's how you take control of your life, one morning at a time. You've been living your life based on how you feel, and that's the problem. You want to take control, but you keep letting your emotion run the show. One minute you're motivated, the next minute you're making excuses. One day you're consistent, the next day you're ghosting your goals. Why? Because your decisions are tied to your mood, not your mission. And if you keep letting your feelings decide your future, you're never going to reach the level you were born for. You've got to understand that your feelings are temporary, but your vision is permanent. Feelings come and go. Some mornings you'll wake up tired. Some days you'll feel discouraged. Sometimes you'll be afraid, but your commitment, your drive, your why, that has to stay solid, no matter how you feel. You can't afford to be loyal to your emotions more than your purpose. You've got to make decisions based on commitment, not emotion. Look, you're not always going to feel like doing the work. You're not always going to feel inspired. But success doesn't care about your feelings. Discipline doesn't care if you're in the mood. Results don't wait for you to be excited. If you only act when it's convenient, you'll never be consistent. And if you're not consistent, you'll never be great. You've got to train yourself to follow through even when everything in you says quit. You've got to be the kind of person who shows up regardless of the storm going on inside. That's where strength is built. That's where champions are made. When you grind through the pain, when you push through the doubt, when you do it even though your emotions are pulling you the other way, that's when you level up. It's easy to be motivated when everything's going right, when people are clapping for you, when the results are coming in. But what about when it's quiet? What about when nobody sees you? What about when the work gets boring, repetitive, hard? That's when most people tap out. That's when they fold, because they weren't committed. They were just interested. There's a big difference between being interested and being committed. If you're just interested, you'll do what's convenient. But if you're committed, you'll do whatever it takes. You've got to get to the point where your commitment drives your calendar, where your word is law, where it doesn't matter if you feel tired, if you feel sad, if you feel scared, you move anyway. You wake up and do the work anyway. You train, you study, you grind, because you made a decision. And that decision wasn't based on how you felt that day. It was based on who you decided to become. You want a better life. Then you got to stop negotiating with your feelings. You got to stop asking yourself, do I feel like it today? And start telling yourself, this is what I do. Period. You don't brush your teeth only when you feel like it. You do it every day, no matter what. Why? Why? Because it's part of your identity. It's automatic. That's how your discipline has to be. Non-negotiable. You get up, you grind, you show up because that's who you are. Every time you let your emotions make the decision, you delay your destiny. Every time you skip the work because you're not in the mood, you're choosing comfort over greatness. And comfort is the enemy of growth. Nothing incredible is built in comforts. Every legend you admire, every story that inspired you, it was built on discipline, not feeling. It was built on waking up early, staying late, working through the pain. It was built on the days they didn't feel like it, but moved anyway. And let's be real. You already know this. Deep down, you know that nothing changes until you change your habits. You know that the life you want is on the other side of discipline. So stop lying to yourself. Stop giving yourself an out. Stop quitting on yourself and out. Stop quitting on yourself every time it gets uncomfortable. You made a commitment, so honor it. You said you wanted it, so act like it. When you make decisions based on commitment, everything changes. You stop waiting for motivation and start building momentum. You stop letting the outside world control your inside world, control your inside world. You become unshakable, focused, dangerous. Because now nothing can stop you. Not fear, not fatigue, not failure. You're not ruled by how you feel. You're ruled by your decision to rise. That's how you take control of your life. Not with a burst of motivation, not with hype, but with a quiet, unshakable decision. I don't care how I feel. I care about my future, and I will show up every day until I get there. You keep saying you want success. You keep saying you want change, but you're still entertaining the same distractions, hanging around the same energy, listening to the same voices that doubt you, limit you, drain you. You say you want to rise, but you're still trying to carry dead weight. You're trying to build an empire while keeping people around who don't even believe in the blueprint. And I'm here to tell you, it doesn't work like that. If you want to take control of your life, you've got to cut off the distractions. You've got to let go of the dream killer. And yeah, sometimes that means walking away from people you've known your whole life. You can't grow in an environment that's choking you. You can't focus when every 5 minutes someone's pulling your attention into drama, negativity, or laziness. You can't build with people who only know how to tear things down. And I know that's hard to hear. I know it's painful to think about letting go of people you care about. Listen, growth demands sacrifice. And the truth is some people can't come with you to the next level. Not because they're evil, not because they're bad, but because they're not built for where you're going. Some of the people in your life are only there for the old version of you, the version that made excuses, the version that didn't believe in themselves, the version that laughed at their own dreams and gave up too easily. And now that you're trying to become someone new, Now that you're actually moving different, those same people feel uncomfortable. They'll say you've changed. And guess what? You have. You're supposed to. That's what growth is. But they don't want to grow with you. They want you to shrink back down to make them feel comfortable. You got to be strong enough to say, I love you, but I can't stay here with you. Strong enough to choose your future over your feeling. Wow. Strong enough to walk alone for a season if that's what it takes to walk into your purpose. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is distance yourself from anyone or anything that keeps pulling you back into the mindset you're trying to escape. Distractions aren't just things, they're people, they're habits, they're comfort zones, they're patterns that feel safe but keep you stuck. You got to identify what those distractions are for you. Is it scrolling for hours on social media? Is it spending time with people who gossip more than they grow? Is it constantly saying, yes, sir, to everyone else's needs while neglecting your own vision? Whatever it is, you got to get ruthless about cutting it out. Not because you're heartless, because you're focused. And let me say this, cutting people off doesn't mean you hate them. It doesn't mean you wish them harm. It means you're choosing alignment over attachment. It means you're serious about your growth. It means you're no longer willing to sacrifice your peace, your purpose, or your power to keep relationships that don't feed your destiny. You've got to guard your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. You're in a battle for your mind every single day. And the people you surround yourself with are either sharpening you or dulling you. They're either fueling your fire or putting it out. And you know exactly who I'm talking about. You feel it. You feel drained after talking to them. You feel confused after spending time with them. You feel small around them. That's not love. That's not support. That's sabotage disguised as loyalty. If you really want to take control of your life, you've got to stop trying to carry people who refuse to walk. You've got to stop watering relationships that don't bear fruit. You've got to stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. You don't owe them your energy. You don't owe them your future. You owe yourself the chance to live fully, free, and fiercely. And yes, it might get lonely. Yes, you might cry. Yes, you might question if you made the right decision. But I promise you, peace will meet you on the other side of obedience. Focus will return when you remove the noise. Purpose will flood your life when you clear the space that was once filled with distraction. This is your season to elevate, to lock in, to build without apology. And if that means losing some people along the way, so be it. What you're building is too important. The calling on your life is too real. You've come too far to let distractions derail you now. So make the cut. Protect your space. And watch how fast you grow when you're no longer carrying what was never yours to hold. You've been waiting too long, waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for the stars to align, waiting to feel ready, to feel confident, to feel like it's the right time. But that moment you're waiting for is not coming. And if it does, it's gonna show up while you're still overthinking. Let me be real with you. Success doesn't wait for permission. Greatness doesn't show up when you're comfortable. Growth doesn't wait until you feel brave. You wanna take control of your life, then you've got to stop waiting. You've got to stop waiting. You've got to take action before you feel ready. The truth is, you're never going to feel 100% ready. You'll never feel fully prepared, fully confident, fully fearless. And if you're waiting for that feeling, you'll be stuck in the same place 5 years from now. Same dream, same excuses, same regrets. You've got to learn how to move while you're scared, how to build while you're unsure, how to walk into rooms you don't feel qualified to be in and remind yourself you belong there. Not because you've arrived, but because you're willing to grow. You think the greats waited to feel ready? You think the giants of the game waited until they had all the answers? No, they moved with what they had. They started with what they knew. They stepped forward with faith in the unknown. That's what separates the ones who rise from the ones who remain. Not talent, not timing, but action. Relentless, imperfect, courageous action. You got to stop needing every step to be figured out. Sometimes the path only reveals itself after you start walking. Sometimes the lesson only shows up after you make the leap. But as long as you're standing still, you're not learning. You're not growing. You're resolved. You're just existing. And that's not what you were made for. You were made to stretch, to evolve, to rise. But that only happens when you start doing the thing you're scared to do. And listen, Fear is not the enemy. Fear is a signal. It means you're stepping into something new, something bigger than you, something that matters. If you weren't scared, it wouldn't be worth doing. You've got to reframe it. Stop seeing fear as a stop sign and start seeing it as a green light. Feel it and do it anyway. That's real courage. Not the absence of fear, but the decision to move in spite of it. The most dangerous mindset is the someday. Someday I'll go for it. Someday I'll take the shot. Someday I'll build a business. Someday I'll speak up, stand up, level up. But here's the problem. Someday is not on the calendar. Someday is just a story we tell ourselves to stay safe. Just a disguise for procrastination. And it's how dreams die. Slowly, quietly, in the waiting. You got something in you right now, an idea, a goal, a mission, and the world needs it. But it will never come to life if you keep hesitating. Start ugly, start small, start with shaking hand and a nervous heart, but just start. You don't have to be perfect to begin. You just have to be brave enough to take the first step. And once you do, something powerful happens. Action breeds confidence. Every step you take builds momentum. Every move you make gives you feedback, experience, grit, and suddenly you're not the same person who was too afraid to start. You're stronger now, sharper, hungrier, because you didn't wait for confidence. You built it through motion. Stop overthinking. Stop doubting. Stop assuming you need to have it all figured out. Nobody does. They're just moving faster than their fear. And that's what you need to do too. You've got to stop letting uncertainty paralyze you. You've got to start trusting you'll figure it out along the way. Because you will. You always do. But you got to give yourself a chance. You got to get in the game. Your dream doesn't need more preparation. It needs more action. Your goals don't need more thought. They need more fire. Your purpose doesn't need more excuses. It needs a decision. Right now. Oh, not tomorrow. Not next year. Right now. While you're afraid. While you're unsure. While you don't know how it's going to end. Because that's the moment everything changes. When you stop waiting and start moving. You don't have to have it all together. You just need to show up. Scared, inexperienced, uncertain. But ready to grow, ready to learn, ready to fight for your future. That's how you take control of your life. By acting before you feel ready and trusting that you'll become who you need to be along the way. Every single step you take matters. Every move, every habit, every choice, it all adds up. But most people don't live like that. Most people act like the little things don't count. They think skipping one workout doesn't matter. They think wasting 1 hour on social media is harmless. They think sleeping in at just this one isn't a big deal. And that's where they lose. That's where mediocrity creeps in the small moments, in the subtle compromises. You want to take control of your life? Then you need to track every step like it matters, because it does. You can't manage what you don't measure. You can't improve what you're not keeping your eyes on. You've got to start treating your life like it's your business, like you're the CEO of your time, your energy, your growth, because you are. Every single day is like a bank account, and you're either investing or you're wasting. There's no in between. The people who win at the highest level aren't just talented, they're intentional. They know exactly how they're spending their hours. They don't let their day slip away unnoticed. They count every rep, track every meal, log every move, not because they're obsessed, but because they're locked in, because they care about the outcome too much to leave it to chance. Think about it. You brush your teeth every day, not because it makes a huge difference in one shot, but because consistency over time keeps you healthy. The same goes for your habits, your mindset, your focus. You might not see the effect of one skip day right away. You might not feel the damage after one lazy hour, but it's never just one. One becomes two, two becomes a week becomes a month. And suddenly you're off track. And you're wondering how you ended up so far from where you were trying to go. That's why you got to stay accountable. You've got to be honest with yourself. Not once a month, not once a year. Daily. You need to look in the mirror every night and ask yourself, did I get better today? Not perfect, not flawless, just better. Did I move the needle forward? Did I make the call? Did I finish the tag? Did I keep my word? Because if you're not improving, you're declining. There's no neutral. You're either building momentum or losing it. And momentum is everything. Tracking your steps means being aware of your time. How many hours are you really spending on your goals? How much of your day is going to mindless scrolling, to conversations that lead nowhere, to tasks that don't move the mission? You've got to cut the fluff. You've got to get surgical with your attention. This is your life. You don't get a second one. Stop living like you've got unlimited chances. You don't. Every day wasted is a day you don't get back. And when you realize that, you stop letting your time slip through your fingers. And this isn't about perfection. It's about ownership. You're gonna mess up, you're gonna slip, you're gonna have days where you don't hit every mark. That's okay, but you gotta know when that happened. You gotta own it, because what you don't track, you excuse. What you don't measure, you ignore. And what you ignore, you repeat. But when you track your steps, when you write it down, when you check it all, when you see it clearly, now you can grow. Now you got data. Now you got proof. And that builds discipline. Start simple. Start with one area. Maybe it's your sleep. Maybe it's your workouts. Maybe it's your finances, your time on your dream, or your mental health. Start writing it down. Start checking in. Start paying attention. And you'll be shocked at how much power that gives you. You'll see pattern. You catch where you're slipping. You'll notice what's working and what's not. And that awareness will lead to action. Because now you're not just wishing. You're not just hoping. You're engineering your success. You're not reacting to life. You're designing it. Tracking your steps also builds confidence, because now you can look back and see progress. You can remind yourself of what you've done, what you've built, how far you've come. On the days you feel stuck, that record becomes your proof. You don't need motivation when you've got momentum. You don't need outside validation when you got a track record. This is how you separate from the crowd. This is how you take control. Not with big, flashy moments, but with consistent, intentional movement. With small steps that compound. With ordinary actions done extraordinarily well. Most people won't do this. Most people will keep winging it, keep guessing, keep hoping it just works out. But not you. You're going to be different. You're going to be focused. You're going to treat every step like it matters. Because it does. And when you do, your life will shift. Not overnight, not all once. But step by step, day by day, you'll build something unstoppable. You can't keep blaming life for being unfair if you're not being honest with yourself. The truth is, most people are losing because they don't have opportunities. They're losing because they lack discipline. They've got potential, they've got talent, they've got time, but they're wasting it. They start strong and fade fast. They talk about goals, but live in comfort. They post quotes about grinding, but when the alarm clock rings, they hit snooze. And then they wonder why their life feels stuck. They wonder why they're not winning. It's not because they can't. It's because they won't stay consistent. The hard truth is, discipline isn't sexy. It's not flashy. It doesn't give you instant results. But it's the difference between people who dream and people who do. Discipline is showing up when you don't feel like it. It's doing what needs to be done even when you're tired, discouraged, unmotivated. It's pushing through boredom, pushing through pain, pushing through every excuse that tries to creep in. That's what the real breakthrough is. Not in hype, not in motivation. In the grind, in the routine, in the reps. You want to take control of your life? Then stop making decisions based on your mood. Start making them based on your mission. If your actions are always tied to how you feel in the moment, you're going to quit every time it gets tough. You'll flake every time it's uncomfortable. But if you're disciplined, you do it anyway. Rain or shine, tired or energized, alone or supported. Because your why's bigger than your feelings. Discipline is self-respect. It's keeping promises to yourself. It's saying I will, and then following through even when no one's watching. It's waking up early because you say you would. It's staying in and working while everyone else is out wasting time. It's skipping the party, skipping the binge watching, skipping the easy route. Not because you hate fun, but because you love your future more. You know where you're going, and you're not willing to let anything or anyone get in the way, and don't confuse discipline with punishment. Discipline isn't about being hard on yourself. It's about being for yourself. It's loving yourself enough to hold yourself to a higher stand. It's saying, I'm not going to let myself settle. I'm not going to let myself coast. I'm not going to let myself coast. I'm not going to betray the version of me I know I can become. Oh, that's love. That's loyalty to your potential. Most people don't lack motivation. They lack consistency. They want change, but they don't want to show up for it every day. They want results, but they don't want to put in the reps when it gets boring or painful or lonely. But consistency is where the magic happens. You're not going to transform in one day. You're not going to transform in one day. It's not one workout, one journal entry, one speech, one decision. It's the compound effect. It's the little things done over and over and over again. You're going to have days where nothing goes right. Days where you feel like quitting. Days where you question whether this grind is even worth it. That's when discipline steps in and says, oh, we keep going. That's when you got to remind yourself of the end goal. That's when you got to remember why you started. The pain of discipline is temporary. The pain of regret, that lasts forever. Discipline doesn't mean perfection. You're going to slip. You're going to mess up. You're going to have moments of weakness. But that's not failure. Fear's quitting. Failure is making a mistake and never coming back. Discipline says, okay, I messed up. Now let's get back to work. That's how you build strength. Not by being flawless, but by being relentless. You got to fall in love with the process, not just the results. The process, the early mornings, the late nights, the workouts, the silence, the sacrifices, the journaling, the planning, the doing. Because if you only love the outcome, you'll never make it through the journey. The ones who win are the ones who learn to love the process so much, they don't care how long it takes. They're in it for the long haul. The truth is, no one's coming to save you. No one's gonna do the work for you. You want change? You want success? You wanna level up? Then it's on you, your grind, your focus, your consistency, your discipline. And if you're willing to show up every day, rain or shine, no matter how you feel, you will win. You will build the life you're dreaming about. Not because it was easy, not because it came fast, but because you had the discipline to outlast the obstacles. That's how you take control of your life, not through hype, not through luck, through discipline, through showing up when no one else will, through locking in when everyone else is quitting, through doing what needs to be done over and over again until the dream becomes reality. You gotta stop blaming the world for what you're not doing. You gotta stop pointing fingers at your circumstances, your past, your environment, your lack of support. Because here's the truth, nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to drag you out of bed, force you to grind, beg you to chase your dream. You've got to be the one. You got to be the one who says, no more waiting, no more excuses, no more hoping someone else makes it easier for me. If you want to take control of your life, you've got to stop outsourcing your power and start owning your decisions. This is your life, your future, your responsibility. And until you take full ownership of that, you're always going to feel like a victim. You're always going to feel like life is happening to you instead of for you. But the second you say, I'm done blaming, I'm done complaining, I'm looking for someone to fix this for me, that's the second your life begins to shift. You've got to develop an internal drive so strong, it doesn't matter what's going outside of you. You've got to be your own motivator, your own cheerleader, your own coach. Stop looking around waiting for someone to give you permission. Stop waiting for someone to clap for you. Stop waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect setup, the perfect team. What you have right now is enough to begin. And what you build with consistency will multiply, but only if you start. Nobody cares how hard your past was. Harsh, maybe, but true. You can't keep carrying the same old stories and using them as reasons why you can't move forward. Yes, you were hurt. Yes, you were overlooked. Yes, life knocked you down. But now it's your choice. Are you going to stay down or are you going to rise? Are you going to replay your pain or are you going to rewrite your story? You have more power than you're using. You have more ability than you're applying. The only thing standing between where you are and where you want to be is the decision to own it. All of it. The wins, the losses, the choices, the habits, the routines, the mindset. Because when you own it, you can change it. You can shift it. You can control it. When you stop depending on others to motivate you, you start unlocking your own drive. You stop needing a coach in your ear every day because you become the voice in your own head. Achamapu. You tell yourself, and get up, move, focus, lock in. You become the reason you rise. And when you've got that kind of internal power, you're dangerous because nothing outside of you can break what's solid within you. Think about how much time you spent waiting waiting for approval, for encouragement, for the right people, the right timing, the right opportunity. But while you're waiting, someone else is working. While you're doubting, someone else is doing. While you're wishing, someone else is grinding. Don't let someone with half your talent pass you because they had twice your discipline. Don't let someone with fewer resources outrun you because they decided not to quit. It's on you now. It's always been on you. And that's not a burden. That's your freedom. That means you don't have to wait anymore. You don't have to ask. You don't have to hope someone sees your potential. You just have to go get it. You just have to start showing up for yourself every single day. You gotta be the one who gets serious about the dream. You gotta be the one who studies when it's boring, who works when it's lonely, who sacrifices when it's inconvenient. You gotta be the one who turns off the noise, who locks in on the vision, who says, I'm not gonna listen, who say, not gonna live the rest of my life wishing I had started sooner. No more blaming your environment, build a new one. No more saying, I wasn't taught this. Go learn it. No more, I don't have support. Be your own support. Find the resource, seek the knowledge, train the skill, adjust the mindset, but stop sitting still. Stop waiting to be rescued. You don't need someone to save you. You need someone to remind you. You've always had the power. You've always had the potential. And now is the time to activate it. Not next week, not next year. Now, right now, with all your flaws, with all your fears, with all your uncertainty. Because movement creates clarity, action builds confidence, and ownership creates transformation. This is your life, and no one is coming to take responsibility for it but you. So own it, drive it, command it, take full control of it. Not just on the good days, not just when you feel hype, but every day, no matter what, because no one's coming. It's on you, and that's the best news you'll ever hear, because it means the power to change your life has been in your hands the entire time. Pain is part of the process. Struggle is part of the journey. But most people spend their whole life running from it, avoiding it, complaining about it. And in doing so, they miss the very thing that was meant to shape them, strengthen them, elevate them. You want to take control of your life? You've got to learn how to use pain as fuel. You've got to stop letting it break you and start letting it build you. Because the people who go the furthest in life aren't the ones who avoided pain. They're the ones who learn how to transform it. Pain will introduce you to your real self. It will strip away the fake smile, the excuses, the fluff. It will show you who you are when no one is watching, when everything is falling apart, when you got no one but yourself to lean on. And in that moment, when it's hard, when it's dark, when it's lonely, you get a choice. You can fold or you can fight. You can give up or you can grow up. You can cry about it or you can get something from it. You've got to stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this trying to teach me? Because pain is a teacher. It will show you what you need to let go of. It will show you what's not working. It will reveal the gaps in your mindset, your habits, your circle. It's not comfortable. It's never going to be. But it is necessary. You can't rise without resistance. You can't grow without pressure. You can't become who you're meant to be without facing the fire. When you start seeing pain as preparation instead of punishment, everything changes. You stop playing the victim. You stop looking for sympathy. You stop waiting for someone to rescue you. You say, yeah, this hurts, but I'm going to use it. I'm going to let it mold me. I'm going to let it make me stronger, wiser, sharper. Because that's what champions do. They don't just go through pain, they grow through it. They squeeze every ounce of strength from it. They don't waste their wounds. They turn them into wisdom. Look at every powerful person you admire. They all have a story. They've all faced heartbreak, failure, betrayal, loss. They've all been knocked down, counted out, laughed at, but they didn't stop. They didn't sit in pain forever. They got back up. They rebuilt. They used the pain as a launch pad. And that's what you need to do. Not because it's easy, but because your purpose is worth it. Stop trying to numb it. Stop trying to escape it. Stop trying to distract yourself with noise, with substances, with people who don't even care about you. Sit with the pain. Sit with the pain. Feel it. Acknowledge it, and then choose to rise. Because if you keep running from pain, you'll keep running from growth. You'll never know how powerful you really are. You'll never know what you're capable of under pressure. And you'll never step into the life that's waiting for you on the other side of that pain. Pain doesn't last forever, but quitting does. The moment you decide to turn your pain into purpose, you become unstoppable. You start speaking from a place of truth. You start grinding with a different level of intensity. You start showing up like your life depends on it, because it does. And now every scar has a story. Every wound has meaning. Every dark season becomes part of your legacy. You've got to stop seeing struggle as a sign you're failing. Sometimes it's a sign you're close. Sometimes it's a sign you're growing. Sometimes it's the test before the breakthrough. You can't let the pain make you bitter. You gotta let it make you better. Let it refine you, not define you. Let it challenge you, not chain you. Let it push you deeper into your potential. It's going to hurt. That's the truth. There are no shortcuts around that. But if you stay in the fight, if you refuse to let the pain silence you, if you choose to rise in spite of it, that's where the power is. That's where the fire is. That's where the next level lives. Inside the pain, inside the struggle, inside the moments most people run from. So don't run. Don't fold. Don't retreat. Lean in. Learn. Transform. And when you come out on the other side, stronger, wiser, more focused, you'll look back and realize that the pain didn't destroy you. It delivered you. It revealed you. It gave you the grit, the edge, the story that makes you unstoppable. That's how you take control of your life. Not by avoiding the hard stuff, but by facing it head on, feeling it fully, and deciding that no pain will be wasted. It will either teach you or fuel you, but it will never own you. The clock is ticking. Every minute, every second is slipping away. And you're still hesitating. You're still overthinking. Still talking about your goals like they're a someday plan instead of a now and never mission. You keep saying you want it, but you're not moving like it. You're not working like it. You're not working like it. You're not obsessed like it. You're still living like time is unlimited, like you got forever to get it right. But you don't. And deep down, you know it. That's what's eating at you, not the pressure, not the struggle, but the fact that you're not moving fast enough, not giving it your all, not respecting the urgency of the mission. You don't get to hit pause on life. There's no timeout, no rewind, no reset button. The world keeps spinning. The clock keeps moving. And while you're waiting for the perfect plan, somebody out there is grinding. Somebody with less talent, less opportunity, less support, but more hunger, more fire, more urgency, and they're winning. Not because they have more handed to them, but because they didn't waste time. They didn't wait to be ready. They didn't wait for someone to believe in them. They decided. They moved. They acted. You gotta stop wasting time acting like you got time. The truth is, you don't know how many tomorrows you have. And that dream, that goal, that vision is not gonna build itself. You're either building or you're breaking. There's no neutral. Every day you don't work on it is a day you lose momentum. Every hour you waste on distractions, an hour someone else is using to close the gap between where they are and where they want to be. You keep telling yourself you'll start next week, next month, when things calm down, when the timing's better. But when has that ever worked? When has life ever handed you the perfect conditions to chase your dreams? Never. Because it doesn't work like that. The perfect time is a myth. You've got to move in the mess. Build while you're scared. Grind while it's hard. Push while it's unclear. That's how winners operate. They don't need comfort. They need purpose. They don't need easy. They need a reason. You've got a fire in you. If you don't feed it, it will die. If you don't act on it, it will burn out. That's why urgency matters. That's why you got to move with intensity like your future depends on it. Because it does. This isn't about pressure. It's about purpose. You weren't put on this earth to coast. You weren't built to settle. You've got greatness in you, but it will never come out if you keep hitting snooze on your calling. Nobody's going to chase your dream for you. Nobody's going to do the reps, make the sacrifices, or carry the weight. That's your job. That's your mission. And if you're not doing it, not when. If not you, who? And if not with urgency, how will you ever break through? It doesn't take a miracle to change your life. It takes a decision. One that says, from this moment forward, I'm done wasting time. I'm done living soft. I'm done letting fear and excuses run the show. You got to declare war on the version of you that procrastinates, that plays small, that waits. You've got to wake up and realize that time is your most precious resource, and it's running out. Look at your life. Look at how many moments you've already let pass you by. How many chances you didn't take. How many days you let slip away without doing the work, without pushing forward? That pain in your chest, that frustration you feel, it's not because you're not capable. It's because you know you've been holding back. You know there's another level and you're not there yet because you haven't moved like your life depended on it. You gotta move different now. You gotta wake up hungry. Go to bed satisfied that you gave everything. You gotta schedule your goals, discipline your habits, track your progress. You gotta say no to distractions, yes to focus, yes to discipline, yes to obsession. Because you're not here to blend in. You're here to break through. So what's stopping you? Fear? Doubt? Fatigue? All of that will fade once you start moving. Action kills anxiety. Movement builds confidence. When you step into your power and operate with urgency, the excuses start to die and the momentum starts to grow. That's when you become unstoppable. Not because it's easy, but because you finally decided that time was too valuable to waste anymore. This is your shot, not next year. Not when you feel better. Not when everything makes sense. Nah, this moment, this breath, this decision. You've got something great in you, but you'll never see it if you keep walking through life like you got time to waste. You don't move now. Because what you do today is writing the story you'll either be proud of or regret tomorrow. Make it count. Make it matter. Make it relentless. The clock doesn't care how you feel. It only knows how you move.